welcome, I'm Drew Walker, your self-proclaimed king of the nerds, and this is NERDAPEDIA. To start off, we're going to be talking about something called OXO, which was a graphical version of Tic-Tac-Toe. It was created by A.S. Douglas in 1952 at Cambridge University during his thesis demonstration on human-computer interaction. This was created on the EDSAC, or Electronic Delay Storage Automatic Calculator. OXO was the first digital graphical game to run on a computer and could quite possibly be called the first video game to have ever existed. However, this video game, the first of its kind, while it did unleash a new wave of entertainment, it was only really accessible to Cambridge University as the EDSAC was unique to the university at the time. 6 years later, in 1958, William Higginbotham created a game using an oscilloscope and an analog computer. This game did not realise the destiny set before it. Widely regarded as the first ever video game, Tennis for Two showed a simplified tennis court and had a gravity control ball that, well, it was tennis. You hit a ball across a net and scored points. The game was played with two box-shaped controllers, both equipped with a knob for trajectory and a button for hitting the ball. Tennis for Two ran for 2 seasons before it was dismantled in 1959. The majority of early computer games ran on universities' mainframe in the United States and were developed by the individual as a hobby. These video games, however, were small in number and quite possibly forgotten by posterity. In 1959 to 1961, a collection of interactive graphical programs were developed on the TX0 at MIT. These games, Mouse in the Maze, Hacks and Tic-Tac-Toe, while would be considered very primitive now, were considered to be the most advanced at the time. Steve Russell and his fellow students then went on to develop something called Spacewar for the PDP-1. That's Program Data Processor 1, which was a new computer at the time. This game was the first that had interactive gameplay between 2 players. They were pitted against each other, each controlling a ship that could fire missiles, all the while a star in the centre of the screen tried to kill them both! The game was eventually distributed on the new DEC computers and then the primitive internet. Spacewar is the first influential computer game, and if you have the time, go search for it online. I'm sure there's a Flash game or something out there, and if I do find one, I'll link it in the description below. Also in 1961, John Bergeson wrote the first baseball simulation game on an IBM 1620 computer at the IBM facility in Akron, Ohio. Users picked a lineup, and the computer would then simulate the results and print them off. So basically, I hold John fucking Bergeson responsible for the fucking sports games that are re-released every fucking year when the companies could easily just fucking update the fucking roster to be a fucking DLC and could still quite possibly make a fucking profit. In 1966, Ralph Baer engaged co-worker Bill Harrison in a project where they both worked at military electronics contractor Sanders Associates in Nashua, New Hampshire. With the assistance of Baer, Harrison went on to create the light gun. Baer and Harrison were joined by Bill Rush in 1967, an MIT graduate who was subsequently awarded several patents for the TV gaming apparatus. Development continued, and in 1968 a prototype was completed that could run several games including table tennis and target shooting. After months of secretive labouring between official projects, the team was able to finally bring a true working project to Sanders' R&D department. By 1969, Sanders was showing off the first video game console to manufacturers. Hey, you gotta love the American military for effectively financing the gaming industry in its infancy. Well, that's all for now. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and remember, always support the official release.